Yeah, I shouldn't drop now. I'm on my data, my phone, so I shouldn't drop.
Okay.
Oh no, I was just asking if you, because it's not. I mean, unless you know about the fat plantation bananas, you wouldn't eat them. So I didn't know if
Uh,
if I know you can get them in the U.S., but not like you can have it in your own country where it's like grown in your own country,
mm,
but like melted coconut or something. I don't know if you guys did that in Japan, but anyways.
not really.
Okay. Anyways, okay. So we need to
Okay.
organize these different ones that he's given us.
Yes. Are we supposed to go through all five, or are we supposed to work on the four and five?
So below you will find five research paper ideas. Below the first three ideas, you will see several each meant to represent a potential section or paragraph in the paper. I figured you could generate your own web topics. It's up to you and your roommates to try and formulate a strategy for organizing the paper. Are there sections that naturally work together near the beginning or middle? Are there sections that locally? So we can go through the first one and talk about it, and then just keep going, and then but I did look at like I looked at it earlier today, and I liked the third one more than I liked the first or second one. And like managing trying to figure out how to put it in an order and to formulate it in an outline. But we can start with one if you want. Um, I reckon the Plate River in Nebraska is the because most important river because um, I think that in the beginning of mine, I would start off explaining about the river and what the river is. So I would probably, in the beginning, probably tell the towns that it's between each border. I've just given an introduction of um, where is the Platte River located, so that people can get an idea of what two cities or towns are next to it, so they know they have a visual idea of where it is. Because you want to capture their attention with visual first, I think. Um, and then let's see, early railroad lines, prepare size, length, stream flow of various Nebraska streams. Um, Probably talk about the what it looks like. Tie that with that, the beginning, the iconic books and representation in the art, the importance of connecting the coast, um, and then from there, stop me if you want. Um, the history of the river, so the Oregon Trail, um, the important claim of the rebut, oh, like the rebut of the other rivers. Um, and probably going in the history of the Oregon Trail with the NA tribal connections to the river, native tribal connections. And then the most important claim, I guess for me, I think I would probably put that towards the end, um, to justify that it's the most important river, or why it's not the most important river, comparing it to that Loop Rivers one, and maybe even Missouri's River and Nobara River, with comparing them, breaking those down and comparing them, and why they're either the most important compared to this one or not the most important.
Yeah, I agree. We would definitely need to like come up with different something to compare with because we're saying that it's the most important river. So
Mm.
um yeah, and I do think like if we kind of establish the criteria around most, we can connect it with why we conclude as it is the most important at the end for a conclusion as well. So, like, I kind of think like it's important for the for all topics to, for instance, number two, how do we establish the criteria of best film of the Indiana Jones franchise, like box office numbers, home viewing numbers, like those stats are important, but like we would want to start with our criteria of why we think this is the most or the best, um, and then kind of make that statement first, support it with the like, facts, numbers, and then if we need a rebuttal of a different comparison that may come up, like we can compare the fact the numbers as well, and then again conclude it to um, whatever conclusion we make.
Yeah. Um, yes. And I think an important thing is too is if you're reaching an audience that doesn't know much about like say the best film in Indiana Jones, like um to give it back up to the other ones that had already played, and given a definition of the whole series franchise. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Um, and I think for the third one, like who is Peyton Manning? Like I know who Peyton Manning is, but like some people may not know who he is. And so and then giving a
I
little
don't
bit of
know.
yeah, he's an incredible football player. He played for University of Tennessee. Hey, no. Hey, what did he was it UT? Well, Philip's probably gonna laugh at me. This is probably not UT. Um, but I know that Peyton Manning is a really good football player, and he um, played, and I think he would be a great coach in getting the Huskers back on track with their less successful in the previous decades. Um, and so he would probably know how to recruit. And so I guess the beginning of it would just kind of give a background of who Peyton Manning is, um, and why, and your thesis at the same time, and why he would be um, a great head coach for the football team. Um, and then let's see, I think in the middle, I think because I think like in the beginning, I think we would touch on most of each topic that's given on why reasoning for him, but then breaking them down by paragraph. So like compare Nebraska's win-loss record and re rebut objections to Manning. So, um, you know, that could probably be in the middle and towards the end. For me, I think I would recommend Manning to take over the football team. Why he would be the best person to take over, but just giving the robot as well. That makes sense.
Yeah. Um, I don't know football or either this man in person, the coach, so I wouldn't have that much insights, but definitely like emphasizing how his record keeping is fabulous and like what achievements he's made would definitely be a argument. I don't know if there is any cons to the statement, but um yeah, mm, the structure seems
Um,
persuasive. So yeah.
I feel like
Number mm,
they, I feel like it says something about like comparing it to other football coaches. I probably couldn't do that because I don't know many other coach football teams or football coaches, but I know who Peyton Manning is, and I know that he knows the game that he's been playing. He's played for college and he played professionally. Um, and so I would have to do more research on other other coaches to say what did he say that? It says something about Manning can bring in other successful foreign players and stick coaches. That's true, that he would know, but that's not what we're trying to do. But we're trying to make it in order with how we go. I think comparing back and forth. Yeah,
um so for number 4 and 5, we don't have any examples, but I was thinking of how to argue what is the best film out of the Marvel cinemas. And like a little similar to um number 2, but like first, how do we establish the criteria for um the best? So is it box office performance? Is it like um is it the visual effects or the choreography? How many awards they won? Like what is it that we define as best? And then like I don't know much, but say I kind of made this argument around Avengers last episode kind of becoming the best because I'm sure it, I didn't do my studies around the numbers, but I'm sure it had a lot of box office performances, but mostly like because I like if if we establish the criteria around just the logos, like the facts around it, I
yeah,
think it'll be a easy argument, but like Avengers, the end game is kind of like it has the connectivity of the whole Marvel like universe. So that kind of connects all the dots within the franchise. So I would kind of list like the characters, um, kind of like all the main heroes in an individual film would be like a, a contributing part of the Avengers movie itself. So I would structure it around um like the emotional and the thematic complexity of the film, and
yeah,
then
yeah. I think that I like what you said about what do you say? You say ethos, um, or what did you say? Ethos. Did you say ethos? Ethos or pathos?
yeah, the ethos, yeah. So I would
Yeah,
structure it around the ethos with all of the connectivity. It's like logos is would be a easier debate, but
yeah. Me too. Me too. And even adding like, but yeah, you were saying too about the box office, like which which film was the best, like which one was the most popular and how and why, um, and the attraction from the audience that actually watched it. I think too, you could even create like a survey to put in there and maybe put that kind of in the beginning, but also in the middle of like why people like the film. I feel like I'm getting so distracted. I feel like I'm more talking about Marvel and not how what order they would go in, what order they would go in, or something. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Really good. Um, the last one, how might you
So I do
structure?
think like the
Oh,
question for number four is more subjective. And then for number five, it's either taking sides on whether you build it around increasing or decreasing. So if
yeah,
you
that's
have a
true.
view,
Yes. How might you structure an argument about whether colleges should increase or decrease investment in online education? I think in the beginning, giving a background history of how online education began, what it looked like, um, how it was brought in through basically through COVID, and how it's progressed from there to what it is now. And then without directly speaking up to myself, but indirectly, um, in my paper, probably towards the end, on why I think online education is great compared to me living on the other side of the world and being able to school um, in the US with me being on the other side of the world. Um, but and then obviously get some research from different people writing different articles about it and putting them inside with um, you know, favoring. I would say for me, I would favor it towards the end of um, my report or my essay on why I think online education should increase and not decrease. But then, yeah,
yeah,
but
like
but
if
still
we were
maintain.
to include if we were to include a counter argument or a rebuttal against that, like I guess like some evidence on to support like the quality concerns of remote studies or like equality gaps, like does everyone have the same like access to the internet, and all of that is always debateful. And like what about the social part of the campus
Yes,
like
yes, yes,
experience, like how does that cover through like I this is my first remote learning at UNO, but you know how like the professors, I'm also taking accounting in this semester as well, but they always have this like bulletin that we need to just like have a post discussing on a topic and we need to reply back to another student. So it's kind of like
yes.
encouraging to read people's opinions, and like it's they do have to like
Let's be
um
creative in how we can
give us
interact with one another.
points like yeah, like the video questions for this course as well, but like there I guess I do see um efforts to engage the
Yes,
interaction. So
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
that's a new world I've never knew, but yeah.
yes. No, I totally agree with you. And my other class that I'm taking right now, that's a lot of, we have to write to at least two of our peers and tell them something. But I like the way this class is because with the students, like you and I have been able to come to every Zoom, but, if all of us could really pull it together and be together, like I think I enjoy talking with you, like it's really good and that's processing this, but it's like, man, I'd love to hear the boys' opinions on what they think as well and how they're processing the class. And just like how Philip's been talking about in the class videos about how
maybe you got it all wrong. And as you guys are processing in your Zoom, and then you realize, oh, got it. I've been doing this wrong the whole time or something. Or I've been doing it right. But yeah, I think I think this helps. I think the hard part is it's really nice that he's broken down like the different things that you would write about. But yeah, 4 and 5,
Mm,
that takes a lot more work on ourselves to do the research and to formulate our outline. So tomorrow or this evening, I'll probably start my outline. Because
yeah.
this just helps my brain come focused on what I need to be doing and how I need to formulate my outline. What's your
Yeah.
what's your outline on, or what's your essay on?
Um, I'm gonna write on like equality for women on the workforce.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, it's like I I can't, sorry, let me I have like three thesis. Like if women want to pursue their career, the marriage becomes the, but then if they choose to have children, then their income is limited, like that kind of analysis. I had like three kind of comparison, and it's gonna be built around like woman equation. Like it's just a big theme in Japan that we're so behind from the leading countries. So
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
really understood the stats and like how much it's like real. So thought to like look through, make some studies and understand like I I I understand it from like a pathos argument, but I never understood the logos around it. So I thought maybe do some study around it and put it into a paper. How about
That's
you?
good. I'm doing. Should we have USA or no? Should USA be how Trump shut it down and and no longer
Mhm.
gave money to like Africa and places like here. Like I had friends lose their jobs because of it, and so I wanted to compare the two of like, should US be giving money, and how should they be giving
Mm-hmm.
money, or do churches come in and try in the community, like do they try and reach out to their sources to supply the needs for the people, like is it time for other organizations to rise up, and like it's been really interesting because here, um, I don't know about Japan, but here it's other countries have risen up, which probably doesn't look so great on US. But like I know Japan Aid, they also they stepped in and they do a lot here in Vanuatu. Like they just built us a bridge, so thank you. Um, and Australia Aid, New Zealand Aid, and I think I wrote it down. There's a specific one in Japan actually, because I reached out to like Peace Corps in Peace Corps here, and they gave me a name. They gave me all the different aids, and one of them was a Japan one, and it's not like oh yeah, and like the Japan embassy. So I'm focused on Japan right now because we were talking about Japan. Um, the Japan embassy like contacted the campus here and asked, can we give you guys books, like free books? And I'm like thinking, yeah, of course we want books. Like we would love to have that kind of stuff. And then the people in
Mm-hmm.
PPD turned it down. But like these people are trying to, but I think sometimes they're worried of alternative motives, which unfortunately that's kind of, what we deal with as well. Like China Aid, they come in and they give all this funding and you think, oh, it's free, like this is awesome. And then you realize that you've just been put yourself in a huge debt and you're debt to China for the rest of your life, like the rest of your country's life,
Mm.
forever. Um,
Oh. I guess we both chose a topic close to ourselves. It's easier to write, like you can relate to it. So,
So,
yeah.
but anyway, man, it's
Do you
I
want to
reckon,
set the next Zoom
yeah,
meeting?
good.
Yeah. How
Um,
about the 19th, the 20th your time, same time?
yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so November 19th. I think it's 20th your time.
Yep,
Same 8:30, 7:30 CT.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll do the Zoom link again, and I'll do this video right now. I'll do the same thing that I did last time. Get it loaded
Thank
on
you so
YouTube.
much.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Um, and then
Okay.
I reckon we'll be sending out outlines to each other.
Okay.
Yeah, because the
Did it say
outline
so?
no, not the outline. It's not the outline. It's the draft. I think we'll probably do the exact same thing that we did last time. But you know what? I'm so glad that I googled like a YouTube thing about what an outline supposed to look like because I had no idea what an outline was supposed to look like. So he said, don't do paragraphs. And so I was like, what does that mean? What do you mean don't do paragraphs? And so then I realized, oh, it's actually a quite simple strategy with outline because you're just basically writing a sentence and breaking down that paragraph by paragraph, basically, of what you're going to touch on in your essay. It says this is not a rough draft of your paper, but an outline to guide your first draft.
Oh, um,
So are we good? You want to say anything else? You want to talk about anything else?